Yeah.
Isn't that how we used to do the podcast, eh?
It is how we used to do the podcast. You throw shit at a wall until shit smells.
Throw shit. That should just be the intro. I'm Julian. He's Matt.
Hi.
We're Midnight Spies.
We are Midnight Spies.
We're here to answer you some questions today.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, they say that, don't they?
They do, don't they? I'm kind of embarrassed about this one because it paints a picture of me back when I was a Fantano head.
And I was also a Fantano head, and that's nothing to be ashamed of.
I guess that's true.
Well, I mean, it is something to be ashamed of. But being ashamed of it is a good thing. Because that means that you've learned from your mistakes.
Like, basing your opinions on a bald guy's music opinions is probably what I'm more embarrassed of. Rather than
Brent's whole floss, so I wouldn't say that. But
okay.
Funny thing about us talking about this actually is it's kind of a theme in the album.
Because it is. It's like the youth of like meeting.
Well,
like
that, and also us. Whenever we met, the people we were then and the people we are now are very different people.
That's true.
And that is kind of explicitly talked about in EP and album.
Yeah, change is a big thing. Anyway, somehow we rounded this out to being about the album or what's gonna come in the future. But listen to our music, please. But how do we didn't actually tell the story of how we actually met.
Oh yeah, we were gonna get to that.
This is a Q&A after all.
So we both were working at this little shitty Italian restaurant called at
yes.
And what happened was it was my first job ever, actually, which was kind of cool.
Is it really?
It was my first job ever.
Okay.
You had already been working in the restaurant industry for 20 years, I think, right?
Unfortunately, and fast food and that. And
for 20 years, yeah. And
I missed that. I didn't hear.
We just started working there, and then this dude, mutual friend or mutual coworker, I guess, more than anything, introduced us because he was like, "Oh, this guy likes Fantano. You said something about Fantano."
What's the second word we said to each other? Kanye?
Yes, Fantano and Kanye were the two words that we said to each other.
Yeah, of course.
We were just, very stereotypical, just dipped his toes in the water of music nerd life, I guess. I don't consider myself a music nerd. You consider yourself a music nerd.
I would say more than you, at least.
I definitely was a music nerd at that time. I
think I'm a music nerd in the sense of, like, I don't criticize as much anymore as I appreciate music for, like, and stuff. I love more than I hate.
Yeah, of course.
Like a hippie.
Yeah, of course.
In this house, do you actually know the meaning behind In This House? Like, have I told you, like, the blurb or whatever, what specific? Because I know I came up with it.
I know.
And I was like, does this sound like a good title?
So I know where it came from.
Okay.
And
it's an inside joke.
I also know the little kind of quotes that you'll write about each song lyrically, but I don't know. So I know why. I know where the name came from. There was an inside joke at our house, or at my roommates at the time. We went and saw a movie called Skinamarink. And if you've ever seen...
No, it was the trailer for Skinamarink.
Was it birthed from the trailer?
It was birthed from the trailer because it just has that repeating phrase, in this house. And we would go around to each other and just repeat,
I think,
in this house to each other.
It got cemented, though, whenever we actually watched the movie, I think, right?
I don't remember. I watched it separately from you.
You did watch it separately from us, but...
Good movie, by the way.
One of our roommates fucking hated the movie, and everybody else loved it to death. And that kind of makes it the inside joke to me. That makes it stick with me more.
Like, in this house.
Yeah. But just as a title...
As a concept.
Yeah, like you can grab... Fucking Idealistic Future is a lyric from a Postal Service song. It doesn't have to do with the Postal Service song.
Right.
It's just getting inspiration from a phrase.
That's the whole thing, is that I like the reference more than I like the actual, like, meaning of what it is. And the meaning, the song title kind of, like, how would I say this? I think I described it in the last interview we did or something. It was that I like the idea of having a song title that sounds good and unique rather than it like either meaning anything or where it came from not actually meaning anything. So for instance, yes, I grab references from these different places and place those as song titles, and most of the time those song titles don't even show up in the lyrics. That's just a little thing I imposed on myself when I was writing, and I was like, I want to keep it like that, just creative freedom, blah blah blah. In this house actually does have a little more meaning to it in the way, and once they get their titles, I do impose a little more meaning onto them. But in this house was kind of like, I mean, you guys were living with your friends, and I would come over a lot, and like those years, the few years we had when we started playing music, when we started the band, when we all were like actually living together, it was very homely, it was very friendship centered. It was just some of the best years I've ever had with friends, and I kind of like thought about the idea that it was, oh, I know how cute, blah blah blah. The idea shut up. The idea was based around, you can tell we're friends, right?
Yeah.
The idea was based around just feeling like home wherever you are because of the people you feel like close to. You know, you feel like you belong with each other, or you like feel good around them, or at least safe. And that was the meaning of in this house. And then this house literally could be anywhere in this case.
Yeah.
Somewhere you feel like you belong is where I came up with that, and then it has multiple meanings. But that's it for that. That's where I came up with it.
Yeah, I like it. I interpret it definitely as the everything that happened in that house specifically, because I literally lived there.
I know you literally lived there.
And
I might as
there's
well
a lot of memories that formed there, so that I got a different personal connection to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it literally is kind of make it your own.
Yeah.
Where do you find yourself comfortable with?
Where is your house?
Where's your house?
Where is your house?
I know where yours is.
Please tell us your address.
This one's easy for me. I know who mine is. You're gonna pull the poster out? Look, I know it's obvious.
I didn't want to bring this up.
No, you don't have to bring this up.
But he's kind of forced my hand. I didn't ever want to bring up the 1975.
We already did multiple times. They are one of my favorite bands. They're one of my favorite modern bands. I think they're very creative in the way they market and the way they do things, and that's easily just a huge inspiration for me in terms of that. But in terms of like music, like influence, you could put the poster down. You're not Bob Barker.
I want to.
No, put it down.
Talking to me like a dog.
You are a dog.
Whoa.
It's a mix between it's really Rush. It's Rush and the Police.
Yeah.
I can't get over those two bands. Someone once told me I was in a Police phase, and I'm like, I don't think
you've ever left your Police phase.
I've never left that. That's the thing. I don't think it's a phase. They're saying it like it's a teenage phase.
You're just a Police fan.
I am a huge Police fan, Stuart Copeland fan. More of the songwriting, more the production, more the lyrics, and all their. To talk about Stuart Copeland, I could talk about him forever. Same with Neil Peart. His more lyrics, I gather from, rather than the Police. But anything new wave, anything 80s, like classic 80s, I pull from a lot. In terms of modern production, I mean, I love Max Martin. I love pretty much anything that was on. I was raised on pop.
Yeah,
like that. That's like I never.
It's fucking. So it's weird because I was also raised on pop, but I was raised on one album by Owl City.
Well,
and then one indie album that I found on Apple Music recommends, and after that, I just went into a like My Chemical Romance, System of a Down, Gorillaz phase in junior high.
So you went into that more like
alt rock and emo,
right?
And then in high school, I fucking listened to the GTA 5 Los Santos Rock Radio, and the Scott Pilgrim versus the World video game soundtrack.
And would you say the actual film soundtrack too? I think.
A little
At
bit,
least
yeah.
for me, I know that for Foo Fighters.
Oh, I actually listened to
the-
Rush in high school a lot too.
You got Rush when you were younger. I got this later.
Yeah.
my influences when I was younger were very emo based too. So emo pop punk based, which I don't listen to too much anymore. But I would say more my I would say what's the one band that survived all that?
Paramore?
Maybe Paramore.
Which I didn't get into Paramore until I met you, which is funny.
Which would probably and then
I always heard them like, I don't like how that girl sounds, and I just never listened to them.
I know it's
But
you grow out of that.
But talking about influences for you, lyrically, you've got Neil Peart more than
Neil
anybody
Peart.
else.
I got Sufjan Stevens was a big one.
Yeah.
He's
Sufjan Stevens for some of the sound of the slower songs too.
Some of the anything your indie folk, but you're like dreamy indie folk rather than your your I guess Phoebe Bridgers does.
I was gonna
count
say
in
Phoebe
there.
Bridgers.
Maybe more of like your not like Elliott Smith.
Mothers.
No, not Mothers. I don't know.
I wouldn't say very much.
My lyrics come from everywhere, but my production comes from very obvious places. I feel like. At least personally. What about you? I mean, you're like
I was gonna say
songwriting. I mean,
because I've had much less of a hand in the songwriting. I am more of the. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, that works. Like I am.
You're
just
the yes man in this.
I am the yes
situation.
and no man. I just listen to the thing that you do, and I just am critiques. But the one song that I did write on the album
Is my favorite thing in the album.
from scratch, the one that I just wrote. It's strange because I know the exact songs that influenced me on that, and it is The Name of Life from Spirited Away, mixed with It Is Raining Somewhere Else from Undertale. And then
Didn't think you'd get that, right? But
I think Claire de Lune, which is a really if you are a classical head, you're
I'm
cringing at that because it's a very basic choice, but.
I don't know anything about classical. I can't say.
It's strange that kind of combination of influences managed to fit into the album as well as it does. I like it.
Well, that's the thing is that the actual the EP's influences are more I'd say the album and the EP are very similar. Album is just more diverse in its influences, and that thing has a lot more. I said like your jazz. Obviously, I didn't mention it, but ambient music is huge to me. I'm a huge, just pure, solid, not even wall of sound, just solid like cloud of sound sort of thing. So I mean, obviously, Brian Eno is a huge influence, but just in general, there's jazz influence on the record. There's ambient influence, of course, pop, maybe even like a little bit of like city pop. Like we're going hard indie folk. There, it goes in a lot of weird places. Cinema, just scores in general.
Yeah,
a lot of scores. I mean, you said it yourself. The Spirited Away soundtrack was. There's a lot of influences on the record, and a lot of things that inspired me, like. Just writing, and I started writing. I've had a lot of things happen to me since 2020 when we started it, all the way to now. So best know all of that got absorbed in the record somewhere somehow.
Yeah.
You'll hear it eventually, but favorite song on the EP. That one. I thought it'd be easy. I knew this was coming too, and I can't decide.
I'm 100% confident in my answer.
Say it at the same time. 3, 2, 1, and continuum.
I was stalling for time.
Why?
Because it's difficult. With
open eyes?
Well, okay, maybe.
Okay, and continuum is my favorite because it's probably one of the. It's funny that it's my favorite. It's the one we wrote super quick.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from. Where it was just like, Matt, we're writing a song today, and we did
it.
You got on your bass, I got on my guitar, and that's it. And I barely did any archive of it because that's how short it was. Mm-hmm. It was just like, oh, there it is. It kind of just appeared. It was really good. One of my favorite guitar solos I've recorded.
Yeah, one of my favorite bass solos to play.
Oh yeah, oh goodness gracious,
that song is
B
extremely
section.
Fun to play.
Oh yeah, I think playing live.
With Open Eyes, on the other hand,
I figured it was with Open Eyes.
Is one of the first times. So, singing is easy, but singing is hard.
Nah.
There's everybody's is their biggest critic in whatever, but with Open Eyes was one of the first times that we recorded something vocally, and I actually kind of felt good.
I remember that session.
It's really, not to turn this into a therapy session, but there's a lot of when you're singing something, well, even with other instruments, just it's very easy to be hard on yourself when you're hearing your voice and think, oh, I can't take that song seriously.
Especially
at
the
guy.
beginning.
It's cringe.
At the beginning too. Like,
we
just started. I mean, they just finally recorded. We recorded multiple takes of multiple songs and we trashed it because either you weren't into it or you were satisfied or blah blah blah.
And I'm sure that there were some great takes that got trashed.
There were a handful
because I convinced you that they were shit because I didn't like my
That's
voice.
part of it. I think that there's some truth to that, but also I think at a certain point you did improve. I think that's A, when you started singing them live, and B, like when you actually like knew the song and you were like into it and you really liked it.
When I was really connecting to them, I felt also just not caring.
That too
is so fucking difficult, but it helps a lot.
I can't. I've never had that issue with me. I don't think I've had.
You also have the voice of an angel.
I don't have a voice. No, I mean I meant in my production and my lyrics and all that. I mean I'll take time. I'm self-critical. Okay, enough. You're not a fucking Looney Tunes. Okay. Song that's changed the most.
Is happening again?
No, I mean it's going to. That's what I think is gonna
actually
happen.
In Continuum, because In Continuum used to be a different song.
Okay, yes, that is true. In Continuum
used to not be In Continuum. It used to be a song that never got used.
Well, because it was always the title thing. When we go back to the titles, like I like to have the title of the song before anything else, and I apply the title after the fact, and then the lyrics generate from there. Right? I had the title, In Continuum. I knew what it meant. I knew what it meant for that song. I knew it, and I had this one, and I was like, I really like that. That wasn't the song was originally supposed to go like track 4 in the album. It didn't end up making it. The production I couldn't get right. It was a guitar riff I really liked on it, though I might use it somewhere, but it just didn't make it to the album. And I was like, damn, I like that name. I want to keep it. I want to use it somewhere in the future. And then we were working on the EP. Surprisingly, the EP came after. But I found that title again. And I was like, well, okay, I know what it means in this song. I'm going to use it on this song. So technically, yes, it's the song that's changed.
By bullshit rules, it is the song
that's changed the most. But the song that's actually changed the most... once again, by bullshit rules, it's gonna be It Is Happening Again.
Because we're gonna redo it.
And With Open Eyes was an old demo that wasn't one of the first. Both In Continuum and With Open Eyes, even though they were written, even though the EP was written and made to be an EP after the album was written, both those songs were written
for the album.
Before the album. But like way before I even conceived it. It Is Happening Again was the first one that was gonna be on the album, and With Open Eyes was before that. Actually, that makes With Open Eyes the oldest song I have, and all I had was a verse and a chorus. I had half a chorus. I didn't even finish it. I was like, I kept resolving it, and I didn't like it. And I was like, fucking music theory shit. But yeah, that's the song. That's probably the song that actually has changed. So you know what? All three have. All three. It Is Happening in Reprise.
Doesn't count.
By our shit rules, it is
shit rules.
Our shit rules.
Yeah, no. Bill Wirtz. Bill Wirtz was one of the biggest reasons that I ever got even interested in creating. Period. I discovered his funny YouTube video, History of the Entire World.
Of course, yes. I remember
but that. I just dug deeper into the guy, and I found the website that he made from scratch, his daily questions that he would answer from like the fucking like 50 fans he had. And this man's like drive to just create for the sake of creating every fucking day without stop was insanely inspiring for me. I actually did a presentation on him in high school.
Funny. The one I would meet would be John Mayer, and that would also be the one that I did a presentation on in college.
For real?
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately.
But yeah.
I wouldn't play Who Did You Think I Was in front of the... No, it was Good Love Is on the Way. I played it in front of the class.
With your guitar?
With my guitar. It was like, I was showing how like lead and rhythm mixed together. Yeah, I know, it was a little embarrassing. I also butchered Politic by Coldplay on the piano.
Oh yeah, let's go! I didn't perform anything.
No. It was good times. Good times.
And I also there with the age old question of which celebrity would you like to meet? I feel like there's always there's a air of awkwardness in that hypothetical just as a given.
What do you mean, like?
Well, if you're gonna meet your hero, you're gonna freak out. And
yeah, you have time to sit down and chat with them. You get used to it. Maybe you get used to it.
Another thing that I like about Bill Wirtz is he's such a just
Jack White
weird person.
Maybe Jack White too.
Personally, Jack White is above John Mayer for me for meeting the person.
Oh fuck. I don't know, man.
Or Geddy Lee or Bill Wirtz, but
Stuart Copeland.
Probably Bill Wirtz for me.
Okay, what about live? Would you see? Okay, dead or alive?
Rush. Geddy Lee.
Rush. Shit. No, the Police?
I've already seen Paramore.
Rush. Daft Punk.
Oh! Yeah, Daft Punk.
No.
Might be the top of the list for me.
It's gotta be Rush. Oh, it's gotta be Rush. No, the Police. No, it's the Police. Hands down, it's the Police. That's it. That's who I'd see live. I hate to say it. Like, because it's, like, not something that I intended to do, but mixing...
Given the amount of time that you spend on it, I would have assumed you loved it.
No, I don't. I am doing it out of necessity because I have no money. So, I don't...
Oh, you can't hire someone to mix for you.
I prefer... in my case...
I would prefer to do it.
At least for the EP. No, I mean, in the EP's case, I 100% did everything. Mixing, mastering, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But in the future, that might change. But the actual... Like, something that I actually have...
Hear that, Usher? You got a position.
Usher doesn't mix.
He doesn't?
No.
That's why his song sounds so bad.
We have Usher beef in the house, guys. I don't know where it came from.
I don't either.
See, he's gonna be on the Super Bowl.
What the fuck is that choice? Nobody's thought about Usher in 10 years. Okay.
That's not true at all, by the way.
I haven't thought about Usher in 10 years.
I actually did think about Usher last night.
But your least favorite part, hands down, is mixing.
Lyric writing is difficult for me.
But you enjoy it though, right?
I enjoy getting it right, so I guess technically I enjoy it. Getting out of the writer's block and being like, yes, I did it. I don't consider myself necessarily like a writer by any means, but I'm writing lyrics for this album.
Yeah.
Because no one else is.
It's true.
I mean, you're right. You're helping me, but
Yeah.
I'm the one who's like I guess, I mean, like I said, I like the concept. I like the world building. I like the songwriting, like the titles. I like the actual songwriting and production. Production is probably my favorite part.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely.
Easily my favorite.
You have a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
I really do. That's the most fun. Because then it's art, of course, is the most fun. Work is the art part of it. But lyricy. It's very lyricy. What about you?
I was going to say... Because I'm glad that I asked you first because I've been thinking of my answer this whole time.
Okay. So you've been ignoring me this whole time.
That's not true.
Yeah.
I can do two things at once. Like play bass and sing.
Unlike me. Okay.
I think my least favorite part, and which is also the most difficult part for me, is step one of getting off your ass and doing it. That is more difficult and more frustrating than any other part, because every individual part of songwriting, I don't find it. None of the individual pieces.
You go.
Yeah, none of the individual pieces of songwriting do I find difficult.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm struggling, I'm having so much fun with it. But just, pressing Alt F4 on Elden Ring and opening FL Studio instead is pretty difficult.
Elden Ring is such a good game, though.
You've never played it.
I've never played it in my life.
Fake motherfucker. Yeah, it's just because I love I love writing lyrics. Wouldn't say I'm very good at it, but I love it. I love writing harmonies. I love writing melodies. I love writing drum parts. I love writing every single part of a song. I love theory crafting for whatever the fuck theme you can make for an album. I love the creative process. It's just, and there's a lot of people out there like this too. I know a lot of people that talk about this
people.
problem.
Yeah, I mean part of it's writer's block. Part of it, I think, is for some people. I know for me, it's.
I haven't written enough to have writer's block.
I get to points where I hit a roadblock, and I kind of just have to either let the pipe drain or just no.
You gotta take a piss.
No, well sometimes it happens, but I'll let the pipe clear and just come back another day. Almost refresh myself. Okay, if it's not working today, come back. Sometimes I'll come back to the thing, I don't have anything, and then come back again and I'm there's something. And sometimes it's one word. Sometimes it's literally one word or one tweak of a knob, and I'm oh, there it is. We're good. That's it. We're done. It just takes time.
Yeah.
Patience and experience. That's the other thing I've learned.
It just takes time. And that's actually going to be the name of our second album.
No, it's not. I have ideas for our second album, even though we haven't finished our first album.
Of course. It means you're creative. You like making things.
I have concepts. I have ideas. I have big ideas. Some radical views. When's the album coming out?
How many times has that question been asked by ourselves to ourselves in the last 4 years? When do we want it to come out?
Maybe.
I want it to come out by the end of the year.
That's not happening. That's not happening. Personally, okay, what? It's February? Okay. Shit.
You got a calendar on your wrist?
It's a metaphorical calendar on my wrist. Tells me when the album comes out.
We would love for it to come out by the end of the year. We are constantly working on it. But it's true.
You know what?
Is it not true?
We're going to pull a Maddie Healy here and say end of the year, 100%. 2024 December. It's coming out 2024 December.
By the end of Q4 2024.
End of quarter 4. That's actually January 25. Is that a joke? No. Okay.
Is this? Oh my fucking god! Why did you let her get into this fucking video?
She was the only person that asked the question.
Oh, I have not watched Nostalgia Critic. I do not plan on watching Nostalgia Critic. I have nothing against Nostalgia Critic, but somebody that I know likes Nostalgia Critic so much that it makes me not want to watch Nostalgia
Critic. Does she actually like Nostalgia Critic?
Is that actually on there?
Yes, that was her next question.
Never. I'm not gonna watch it, dude. You can't force me to do this.
This is specifically targeted towards Matt, by the way.
I'm aware that it is, and okay, real talk. I don't want this person kind of just taking over this interview, because this was supposed to be about Midnight Spies. This is supposed to be about Midnight Spies. I know you want to make a joke with your friend, and that's cool, but it's just I don't really like this. It's kind of killing the vibe. Can we go back to the normal questions?
Have you two kissed? Is that the end of the interview?
Is that the last question?
Yeah, that's the last question, Matt.
Dude, no! For real?
Yeah, for real.
Oh my god.
Anyway, our EP comes out March 1st.
March 1st.
I'm excited. Are we playing shows anytime soon?
It's a great question.
Maybe. We'll see.
Genuine question, because I know you are handling more of this than I am. What platforms are we releasing on?
Well, I'm going to try to release on everything. Like Spotify, Apple
You
Music.
hear that? If you own an Ouya, we are going to get you fucking covered.
I was going to say, what's Jay-Z's... fuck, I forgot.
The J-Boy? I don't know.
No, it's not... No, that's Pete. No, not Pete Diddy. Who's the Soldier Boy?
Yeah, the Soldier Boy.
Yes, coming out on all platforms.
Coming out on the Soldier Boy.
I'm gonna attempt to do it, but that's the plan.
Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.